And New York State lawmakers, Assemblyman Angelo Santabarbara and Senator Peter Oberrocker joining us to talk about the solutions they're putting on the table to try to curb the state's gasoline crisis. Assemblyman Santabarbara, I'll start with you. Tell us about your proposal, how long it would suspend the state's gas tax.
The proposal that I put forward that's being considered, actually even being talked in the context of budget negotiations at this point, is to suspend the state's gas tax in response to what we're seeing as a national crisis, something that we are not going to be able to solve here in New York. But the state's gas tax is something that we do have control over, and it can make a difference for hardworking families, middle-class families heading to work and back. And the proposal is to do it for a year. And the reason for that is because this budget sets us on a financial track for the next year. And I think with all the federal funding that is coming into this budget, what we're seeing is an opportunity to fill that hole, to make up for what would be lost by not collecting the state's gas tax and passing those savings on directly to middle-class families, people getting back to work. This is a real critical time right now in New York's economic recovery. We're asking people to get, re-enter the workforce. And for when we say re-enter the workforce to rebuild our economy here in upstate, that means getting on the road. That means traveling. I've talked to people at local gas stations that travel as much as 100 miles in one day. So you can imagine, the state's gas tax may not seem like a huge amount, but if you refill a couple times a week, that's significant dollars back in your pocket. Could mean an extra trip to the grocery store, could mean a lot of things down the road over a month, over a year. It's thousands of dollars. I think that we have an opportunity to do it. And I think with this budget being in a unique position that it is, and I think we should do it.
Assemblyman, very quickly, your response to maybe the governor's concerns about this.
Yes, I certainly disagree with that, because the impacts, we've already laid out the impacts and just in the short time we've interviewed on this show here. But one of the other things that we need to consider, this is also diesel fuel we're talking about. So we're talking about shipping costs. So when you look at trucking companies, they have reached out to me, by the way, and they have said, this would save a significant amount of money just on a single delivery here in the Capital District, bringing goods to our grocery stores, our stores where we buy essential goods and products, things that we use every day. Those shipping costs get added into what we pay at the supermarket. So just as an example, one trucking company, say on one shipment, could save with the suspension of the gas tax up to $50,000 a year. Now, those savings will be passed on to the consumer, which means we could pay a little less for things like soap, for things we need for the house, for essential items that we need for everyday life, and at the grocery store. It adds up. It has an impact not only for commuters, but also in the store aisles.